Ready? Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to open this meeting for the Polk County Board of Commissioners for Wednesday, January 29th, 2025. Commissioner Mordhorst is excused. First item, additionally, announcements are on agendas and extra copies are on the side table. So first item up is for comments for items not on the agenda. Good morning.
Speaking to the microphone.
Please.
Well, I'm Chris Patuan, and I saw on the agenda today, when I pulled it up online, we were scheduled to get our first ever financial report by our treasurer, Steve Milligan. For those that don't know, he is required by the statutes to give this report monthly and can be fined for not presenting it. It should be his 49th, but it is his first, which is a step in the right direction. Now, in 2021, he took an oath of office to perform the duties of the treasurer. And in the first 4 years, he did exactly 0 of those duties, nothing whatsoever for the people of Polk County. He did demand more pay. He thought the taxpayers should fork out about $90,000 a year more than what was offered for the position. He demanded a better office, and he filed a lawsuit, a completely pointless and frivolous lawsuit that cost taxpayers tens of thousands of dollars. It also included demands for more pay and a better office for himself. He did, during those first 4 years, faithfully receive his paycheck. At one point, he was so derelict in his duties that he did not even show up for nearly a year, but he faithfully took his pay. And so, by my unofficial record keeping, this is a record-breaking occasion. The most expensive financial report in county history. He's been paid to date nearly $49,000, plus the cost of his frivolous lawsuit. A very conservative estimate is we will have paid up to over $80,000 at this point of taxpayer money will have been spent. It'll also prove that he lied to us for 4 years. He said he was not allowed to do his job, even though he admitted he was given access to all the financial records, the reports, every scrap of financial data that the county had to offer, he had access to, and nothing has changed. Today, he has the same access he had 4 years ago. He just chose not to do any work for 4 years. He was busy demanding more money and a better office. And with this horrendous cost, I do expect this to be a exceptionally good financial report. He's had 4 years to work on it. I expect some detailed analysis. I'm really looking forward to some trends, some forecasts. It should be good considering how much the taxpayers have forked out so far. And some requests of our treasurer for the future on behalf of the taxpayers. Stop asking for more money. You ripped off the taxpayers for 4 years. You wasted money on a lawsuit. You owe the taxpayers a refund. And twice now you've run for office knowing exactly what the pay was. If you don't like the pay, don't apply for the job. It's clearly outlined in advance. So stop the money grab on behalf of the taxpayers. And secondly, be reasonable. There was a YouTube video of the Board of Commissioners meeting from November 26th, where they invited you to lay out and describe what you needed to do your job. In that time, you spent the majority of it complaining about your office space.
That's time, Mr. Patuan.
Okay.
3 minutes.
You can have my time.
I can, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I appreciate that. There's just a little bit more, just asking you to be reasonable and work with our commissioners. This whole thing could be resolved in an hour or 2 tops. I'd be happy to mediate that. It doesn't need to be a lawsuit. Stop with the frivolous lawsuits. Taxpayers have wasted enough money on this issue. Stop with the demands for a better office. You barely showed up for 4 years. Why would they spend the office space on you? Doesn't make any sense. And that is really what I have. With that, I just anxiously await this record-breaking financial report.
Take the rest of my time. Robert Greenway, 223, Southeast Academy. Yes, to see somebody else touch you guys with pants down. What the F is wrong with you guys? I brought many of the things to you guys and you guys just ignore it. This time I'm going directly at Mr. Smith. He should know better because he was sent the paperwork from the county DA, who again lied in an open email to me and did nothing, okay? You are a person that's supposed to uphold the law, okay? You do nothing. You sit there with a smirk on your face, twiddle your thumbs, provide no input at all, except we talked to him. Wow, I'm glad you talked to him. I talked to him too. You lie straight to your face. Your county DA's office is a joke. You let them get by with things that they shouldn't get by with. And week after week, you sit there and do nothing. Not that you can't do something, it's you do not want to do something. Evidently, I don't know, the gentleman that just talked, evidently you have problems also in the past. I haven't been around long enough, but what I've seen just from the little bit that I got involved, it's turning into a, I don't know, clusterfuck, joke, whatever you want to call it. Do something, get off your asses, grow some balls. Simple things, you know. You have the power, or at least you could say something, open an investigation. Do something. Morons.
Let me get just a brief statement.
Oh, yeah, use your public comment portion. I don't care.
Mr. Greenway, I'm going to speak uninterrupted for a moment. You've made several public comments to the Board of Commissioners over time with highly charged emotions and accusations. Just want to clear the record that your concerns were addressed by letter by the chair of this board. And that also included a meeting with the chair. And I understand some of the grievances involve your being trespassed from certain public buildings as part of it. And then there was an incident at the DA's office. As I said before, we aren't going to take up your grievance as a passion project or an issue here. So you're free to use your First Amendment rights to address this board at any time. And I fully support that. But I'm going to tell you as your elected county commissioner that I do not think that the 90,000 people we represent are served by us taking up your grievance. And for the record, and I wouldn't mind reading our response to you into the record at a future date, but you've been trespassed by several public facilities. And I think, you know, folks watching this, and part of the reason why I'm addressing is that some folks might have questions. And I just wanted to make that statement clear and let you know that there's no action I'm going to take unless new events manifest that do come into our purview. But in general, the executive level here does not interfere with the prosecutorial level. You haven't been charged with a crime, but you have been trespassed by public buildings. You have not been charged with a crime, but you have been trespassed from public facilities is what I understand. And I'm just telling you, as your commissioner, I'm not going to take that up as a project for you. So when you say do something, my answer is no, thank you.
Appreciate you.
Any other comments? All right, seeing none, move on to approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Thank you, and I will second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes. Approval of the minutes from January 22nd.
I move approval.
And I will second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. That passes. And approval of the consent calendar.
I move approval.
And I will second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. And that passes. Now we're ready for our Polk County Monthly Treasurer's Report from Mr. Milligan.
Thanks, Steve.
Good morning, Commissioners and Administrator Hanson. This is the report that you typically get emailed to you. And know what your process is in receiving these in the past.
I haven't received one on the record in 4 years.
So
This
Caitlin.
is all
hasn't
new.
been-
This is your,
So Caitlin hasn't been providing this report to you.
no, I'm not saying that. I said we haven't received one on the record as a report in 4 years. It's your show.
So you have your report.
I'm confident that I've seen the numbers in the past, yes.
Okay. And so what are you expecting me to give you this
You're
morning?
the treasurer. It's your show.
I'm giving you the report that you typically get on a monthly basis. And you've never asked questions in the past. And you act as though now I mean, the show that Chris just put on was completely inappropriate. He had us say when we were in the campaign and he lost the election.
He's entitled to his 3 minutes.
I get it. I get it. But he seemed to be addressing me, not you guys, in the way that he made his comments. So if he wanted to address me, he could have addressed me at any time in the 4 years prior, plus now, and he has never once addressed me personally on this matter. But he seems to take it up in public a lot with other people about what happened in those 4 years, of which there's a pending lawsuit and an appeal. And we don't need to go into that, but I've presented you the report that you've been getting for years. This is the same thing that Linda provided. She provided it as an email. Caitlin has provided it as an email because I get a copy of it at the same time you guys get a copy of it. So I'm not sure what your expectations are of me. I will present this report monthly to you. I will email it prior to the meeting so that you can see it, so that if there are any questions that you have regarding the report, I can answer them. But right now, not being part of the day-to-day operation, I can't answer any questions about how these totals got to be these totals. And until I get to be part of the daily operation, I'm not sure how I can do a better job than to present this the way that I have. And so that's my report.
So you're suggesting that you're going to take the document that's produced by an employee and just hand it to us, and that's the extent of your report?
Well, if you look at the resolution, that was what it said in the resolution 1603, was that someone else was going to present the report and then I was going to prepare it. I actually prepared this report by looking at the reports that come out of MIP and then putting those numbers into this Excel sheet. But I mean, yeah, any employee could do this and prepare this actual spreadsheet for you.
Mr. Milligan,
Mhm.
I'd like to make a few statements here that are based in the statute. Okay.
Okay.
I just would
Well,
like,
because I got the statute right here in front of me.
if I could speak.
Sure.
Appreciate it. So how you produce this report is not exactly our concern, but we want to make sure you have access, proper access to perform all the statutory duties of county treasurer. And I just want to state on the record, ORS 28.090 about the monthly financial statement. This is the first time I've received this from the treasurer since I've been commissioner. And it says the county treasurer of each county shall, on or before the 10th day of each calendar month, file with the county court a statement in writing showing as of the first of the then calendar month, the following. And as I looked this over for the first time, this is the first time I've seen it. I'm marking off the 4 bullet points under the statute. It looks like this is complete. So I thank you for that. And I do think that this is also in the public benefit as well. This is a suggestion. This is not, I'm not telling you, or just a suggestion that this might be good for the public to see on a monthly basis. It's really a cash position and, kind of the status of our banking, our bank accounts. So I saw this in Yamhill County. They have this posted to the website. It might be a good thing to consider. But again, you don't need to be in part of the daily operations necessarily. And I'm curious what that means. to provide the oversight of the cash position of the county, which is really what the treasurer is supposed to do, part of what the treasurer is supposed to do, right? So this is important, whether or not this was an easy document to produce. I understand finance staff has trained you on how to access reports, the reports you need. If there are other things you need specifically, we'd love to know about that and accommodate it because we want you to be successful, period. And we want to make sure that we're in alignment with the statute, okay? So I appreciate this. And I'm glad that we're moving in a direction where there's a workflow. And if it's a work in progress, great. But this is something that must be provided by the treasurer, period, and hasn't been done. So staff
but
has
that's-
been,
But
staff has been,
again,
and you haven't been prevented from doing it, period.
no, that's a falsehood. So we'll leave it at that.
All right.
You have your report.
Okay. Next up is Polk County Ordinance 25-01. Getting that right?
You got it,
Thank you.
Commissioner. Good morning, Commissioners.
I'm impaired. That's what's funny.
This is the first reading of ordinance number 25-01 in the matter of adopting an ordinance to establish the office of a county accountant. I will read the text into the record. Whereas ORS 210.010 allows the governing body of any county to create the office of a county accountant, the Polk County Board of Commissioners ordains as follows. Section 1, enactment pursuant to ORS 210.010, the Polk County Board of Commissioners hereby establishes the office of the county accountant. Section 2, appointment pursuant to ORS 2.10.120, the Polk County Board of Commissioners appoints Caitlin DiAugustini to serve as the county accountant. Ms. DiAugustini shall qualify for this position pursuant to the requirements of ORS 2.10.120 by executing a bond in the sum of $20,000 with the necessary requirements outlined by statute and taking an oath of office with the Polk County Clerk within 30 days of the ordinance's effective date. Duties. The office of the county accountant shall perform all necessary tasks and responsibilities outlined in ORS Chapter 210 and all other laws applicable to the function of a county accountant. Should any portion should any section or portion of this ordinance be held unlawful or unenforceable by any court of competent jurisdiction, such decisions shall apply only to that specific portion or portion thereof directly specified in the decision. All other sections or portions of this ordinance shall remain in full force and effect. And that concludes the first reading.
Okay, thank you. Questions? Hearing none, we will move on. Do we have a need for an executive session?
None for me, sir. No, sir.
Okay. Any further business come before the board? Hearing none, we are adjourned.